Hey, what's up guys? Welcome to Left Coast Pops. Today I'm going to be showing you my top 10 favorite pops in my collection, so stick around and see what I got. Alright guys, so like I said in the intro, today we're going to be checking out my top 10 favorite pops in my collection. I'll start with a disclaimer. Number one, let me let you know that these are not necessarily the most expensive pops in my collection or the most grail pops in my collection, but for sure just my favorites. Like the ones that I was super excited to find, the ones I'm super excited that they made, and the ones I'm super excited to have. Number two, I took a long break from collecting, right? So I started in 2012, right around there, and then I didn't quite get back into it until probably right around last year. So you're going to notice a huge gap in there where it's like, why does he have so much old stuff and then just so much new stuff? So either way, hope you guys enjoy, and let's kick this thing off. So here it is, number 10. Alright guys, so coming in at number 10 is going to be right here, Burt Macklin from Parks and Recreation. I liked Burt. I liked the fact they made a Burt Macklin figure because it's just so, like, for the fan of the show. You know what I mean? So I think that sometimes when they make pops, it's like, well, let's just make the main characters and let's push them out there and people will buy them. But the fact that they made such like a, I don't know, I feel like beloved character by just the fans of the show proves that, like, Funko really pays attention to the things that they're putting out. And I also brought out my Summer Convention 2018 Ron Swanson to go along with it, because it was another one of those things where I think that true fans of Parks and Recreation really loved these two pops because of what their storylines were in the show and you know, the true connection they had there. So starting off at number 10 is going to be Parks and Recreation, Burt Macklin, Hot Topic exclusive. Alright, number 9. So number 9 is a favorite of mine, not only because I love the movie that it's from, and I also love Disney as a whole, but because it's the first flocked pop that I ever bought. And it was one of the first pops that, like, I saw it and I was like, I really need that thing. Like, that is a really, really cool pop. So it's going to be Doug from Up, the Hot Topic exclusive flocked version of it. It's so dang cute. I love this pop. And this was back when I think that, like, really doing flocked pops wasn't as popular. It was like almost a new thing for Funko to be doing. So I was really excited when I saw this, and I was like, wow, that's a pop that I really, really need to hunt down, really need to find. And it was also like when I was kind of starting to get back into collecting, like, the cool thing about this one is I was like, oh wow, now they have like exclusives, and like, I don't know, kind of turned back into that where I realized, like, damn, like, pops are a really, really cool collector item and now are taken super seriously by collectors. So number 9 is for sure Doug from Up, and it's the flocked Hot Topic version. Alright guys, so coming in at number 8 is going to be a pop that is relatively easy to still get, but I love it so much. I think it's super cool that pop is going out of just the 4 inches and the 2-packs, and now they're starting to do movie moments and things like this, which is a pop ride, and it's going to be the Pizza Planet truck from Toy Story. I thought this one was so cool when I first heard that it was coming out, and all the mocks started going around the internet. I think in general, like, the idea of doing pop rides is really, really rad because it gives us this whole other world of pops that we can get into. I think that, like, there was a slight, like, hint into it when they started doing the Cars pops, and those were just 4-inch ones, but then they started doing bigger ones, which are really cool. I know there's like a Knight Rider and there's a few other ones out there, but this one is far and away my favorite. Toy Story is one of my favorite movies, and Disney in general is one of the biggest things that I collect, right? So I'm always going to go with the Pizza Planet truck with Buzz Lightyear right there in the steering on the steering wheel, and yeah, easy number 8 for me, Pizza Planet truck. Alright, so number 7 I actually have 3 of, and I couldn't pick one because they're all so rad, and it was one of the first, like, multiples of a pop that I was like, man, I need to get all of those. So being from Los Angeles, of course number 7 is going to be LeBron James in the Lakers uniform. I thought it was so cool. They did a couple different exclusives with these, and they weren't necessarily super hard to get, which was also pretty rad. The only one that I feel like I had a pretty hard time finding was the Foot Locker exclusive, and luckily my wife was able to hunt that one down for me and pick it up as a Christmas present. So pretty excited. I mean, you can't beat the King being in Los Angeles, and being from LA, you have to have some love for the Lakers. So I was pretty excited to be able to get all three of these. Comes in a white version, purple version, and then of course the gold. Once again, like I was saying before, it's just so cool that they do so many different variants of pops that they know are going to be popular, and being able to make them exclusives, it gets people into different places, into different stores, and checking out stuff that they can't find anywhere else. So it's pretty rad. So number 7 is going to be LeBron James. Alright guys, so number 6, I'm going to go with somebody, while we're on the topic of sports, that plays for one of my favorite sports teams of all time. I'm a huge hockey fan, and I, of course, love the Montreal Canadiens. So number 6 is going to be Carey Price. He's the goaltender for the Montreal Canadiens, and this is by no means a hard pop to get. Super easy to find, but I was just so excited they made him. I feel like I have this tendency to like fall in love with players that they don't make a lot of stuff for, and especially like the NHL being not quite as popular as the NBA or the NFL. I was really excited that, you know, I was able to find somebody that I was a pretty big fan of, and a team that I really, really liked. So this was an easy choice for me. So number 6 is going to be Carey Price from the Montreal Canadiens. Alright, so number 5, right? Number 5 is cool in my opinion. It's a newer one because they did something different over at Funko, and it's going to be Wally from Earth Day. I thought this one was super cool because they changed up the way they did the packaging, doing the dark brown on the box. That was pretty cool. It gives it like that restored look and that recycled look, and this one being made of a good amount of recycled material. The figures made 20% of recycled material, and the box is 80% recycled material. Thought that was pretty cool. I was pretty excited to be able to find this one. I was able to get it off Pop Culture, so it came from Australia, so mine doesn't have the box lunch sticker on it that all the other US ones do. But I was still excited either way, and since I broke this one out, I of course had to break out the Eve that I also have that goes along with it. I also have the common Wally, but figured these two go together pretty well. Thought they were pretty adorable. Of course, Wally holding the plant that ends up Eve ends up taking back to the mothership. So pretty cool. I'm very excited about having those ones, and very excited that Funko and like the whole Pop line did something different with this packaging. So number 5 is the Earth Day Wally. Alright, number 4, no surprise here, more Disney Pops, right? So this is one of the first lines that I felt like I had to hunt down every single one of them. I saw that they were making these into Pops, and I was like, well, need to have them, gotta have them. So it's the original Wreck-It Ralph line. Right here I have Wreck-It Ralph and Fix-It Felix. I also have the original Vanellope and Turbo. Still looking for King Candy out there. But I love these Pops because they have that original, like, old Pop look. I think that if anybody that's been collecting for a long time knows what I'm talking about. I think that now Pops tend to have, like, just a look like the character, right? So these ones still have that like old Pop look, in my opinion, and I think that they're so cool. And I also love that they made Fix-It Felix so much smaller than Wreck-It Ralph. It's actually like I don't know, it's like anatomically correct, I guess would be the way to put it, but or proportionately correct. There you go. But either way, super cool wave of Pops, and these ones I was able to find at the Disney store when they first released. I hunted them hard, man. I think I found Fix-It Felix and Wreck-It Ralph, and then I had to go find Vanellope and Turbo somewhere else. Still on the hunt for King Candy, but for now, definitely not mad that I have these ones. So number 4, it's going to be Wreck-It Ralph, the original set. Alright, so number 3 takes me back to my childhood. I mean, not necessarily childhood, but definitely high school. One of my favorite bands in high school and growing up was the Misfits. So, of course, it's going to be the Misfits Fiend. This one was one that I was able to find way back when it first released. I saw it and I was like, oh, like, that's a cool pop. I can't believe that they made that. So I picked it up. There's another one that I got for like $10. I found it randomly at a collector's trade show that I go to out here, and I was like, oh, sick, so picked that one up. And then I realized when I started collecting again, I was like, man, this thing is like skyrocketed in price and skyrocketed in value. So it's pretty cool to see things that like you picked up just specifically because you were into it turn out to be valuable and turn out to be worth something. So it's pretty cool. And like I said, I think that it's like such a niche market for misfit stuff that like the collector world jumping into like this type of music, like punk music, is really, really cool. So it's always going to be one of my favorites. Always going to hold this one near and dear to my heart. So of course, the Misfits Fiend is number 3. We're getting there, guys. Only 2 pops left. Number 2 is the first chase that I ever got. I bought it after it had already been discovered, so it's not like I discovered it as a chase, but still really cool pop to have, and it's from one of my favorite movies of all time. I'm a huge horror guy, so it's going to be Leatherface from the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the Bloody Chase Edition. I think that it's so rad that they did... this is one of the first chases I ever saw before I even really knew what a chase was, and then after I bought it, I went and did the research about it. I think I picked it up for like $25 at a store in Orange County when I was driving through there a couple of years ago. But for sure, one of the cooler ones that I have. I was super, super excited to find this, and super excited they did something so rad with like the chase was like just blood splatter. It made so much sense to me, and I don't know, it was one of those ones I easily fell in love with. Unfortunately, not quite standing the test of time and has a little bit of box damage on it, but definitely still in my favorites, and definitely still on, you know, close to the top of the list. But number 2 is Leatherface from the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Number 1, man, what a list it's been. It's been a good time kind of looking through all my pops and seeing which ones I really wanted to share with you guys for the first video, so it's pretty cool. Number 1 is far and away the most valuable pop that I have, and it's, for me, it was like one of the biggest surprises that it was valuable, because I bought it not knowing anything. I was like, oh, cool, it's a cool pop, and it was like 25 bucks. Solid, let's take it, right? So I picked this one up back in 2012, and it is the Martian from Mars Attacks, the 2012 San Diego Comic-Con metallic version. I know that some of these Martian ones have been skyrocketing in price. They're crazy expensive, like the glow-in-the-dark one is up there. But man, it was just so cool. When I first saw this one, I was like, oh, like, I like Mars Attacks. It was one of my favorite movies growing up. I'm just going to pick up that pop because why not, right? It turns out years and years later that this is actually worth a good amount of money, good chunk of change. So it was another one of those things where it was cool that something that I was just into and I happened to pick up because I liked it turned out to be valuable. And on top of that, it's the first metallic pop that I ever bought. I think that the metallic series of stuff is so cool. And as you look further and further into, you know, all these metallic ones, you see like the Red Hulk and things like that. Some of those paint jobs are really, really astonishing. Like, they're so pretty. So I'm pretty excited that I have this one. And just like the Buzz Lightyear that's in the Toy Story one, I love like the plastic helmet that they put on some of these. It's so cute, and I think that it just adds like that little bit of like extra to it. And this one, you know, it's holding the little ray gun. So if you guys have seen Mars Attacks, you know like plenty about this and how cool that movie is. And it's just a cool like a good homage to like good 1950s like just silly horror movies. It's so good. So yeah, number 1 far and away coolest pop that I have is gonna be the Martian from Mars Attacks 2012 San Diego Comic-Con. Alright guys, so that's my top 10, right? Thank you guys so much for watching the video. Do me a favor, subscribe and comment below what your favorite pops are from your collection, right? What do you have that you were able to hunt down and find that is super, super rad that you want to be able to share with the world? And I'll probably comment back to you, and we'll go back and forth about if I think they're cool too. And who knows, maybe we'll get some trades going in these comments here, guys. So thanks so much for tuning in, and I will see y'all next time. Peace!